the world, but strength is defined when they are together, and that's on a rainbow. And then the moment of truth comes.
Applications for interviews for issuance of electrical installations permits. The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA invites eligible electrical and renewable energy installers and suppliers to apply for certification interviews to be conducted by the Electrical Installations Permits Committee, IPCO. All electrical and renewable energy installers and suppliers who are not yet certified by MERA or wish to upgrade their classes of permits are encouraged to apply. Application forms can be collected from MERA offices in Development House in City Center in Lilongwe, or in Pico House, Blantyre, or Pico House in Zuzu. Soft copies can be obtained upon request. All prospective candidates will be required to possess and bring during the interviews the following: original copies of their company's registration certificates, original certificate of relevant electrical and or renewable energy academic and professional qualifications, and original certificates of past permits for those wishing to upgrade. The minimum qualifications are Grade 1 National Trade Test and 3 years of practical experience. The closing date for submission of application forms is 20th January 2020. Only shortlisted candidates shall be invited for interviews. Late submissions will not be entertained. For more information, please contact the Chief Executive Officer, Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, Private Bag B496, Lilongwe 3. Email mera@meramalawi.mw. Telephone 0999 896 310, 0998 588 091, 088 54 869.
It's time for the news, and you're with me, Letem Tunga. But before the news in detail, let's take a look at the top stories at this hour. Rains rain havoc in Blantyre, leaving several people homeless. APAM's inquiry on albino killings exposes high-profile figures. Second appeal in the Mangochi election results dispute. In sports, Kafuafua appointed Flames manager. We have these and many other stories. Stay tuned. Dozens of Blantyre residents from townships of Chirimba, Mayani and Bangwe have been left homeless after incessant rains since last Saturday damaged their houses. While acknowledging the situation, Blantyre City Council publicist Anthony Gasunda says they are undertaking assessment to establish the magnitude of the damage to respond to the situation. Meanwhile, Director in the Department of Climate Change and Meteorological Services, Jola Mukhogwe, has said the ongoing rainy seasons in some parts of the country are expected to end on Wednesday this week. A preliminary inquest report sanctioned by the Association of People with Albinism, APAM, has found top government officials involved in the trade of bones of people with albinism. APAM President Ian Simbota disclosed this on Tuesday, saying they decided to do a private investigation upon delays by government to release results from its inquiry. Meanwhile, APAM have requested to meet with President Peter Mutharika to share the findings of their inquiry. Blessings Mpinganjira has the full story.
Nerve-wracking tales of killings and abductions of people with albinism caused fear that gripped the country as people mourned the loss of lives and vicious attacks on the people whose sin was lack of melanin on their skin, with serial reports of fresh cases, especially in the turn-up of the 2019 general elections, Rumors made rounds that attacks were in connection with elections as politicians sought rituals to boost their odds of winning. Government sanctioned an inquest with an aim to expose the value chain, but the 8-member committee has been in the cocoon since April 2019 with no hope of the release of the report soon. Noting the hesitance, APAM instituted its own inquest, which Simboda has said some shocking results.
The report is not ready to be shared, but on the preliminaries, what we can share is it's shocking, but not really surprising, because we have got some government officials that are involved in the killings and abductions of persons with albinism in this country.
Simboda said they plan to meet their president to share with him on the findings.
I've already written the chief secretary. We want to meet the president.
Police statistics indicate that 26 albinos have been killed since 2013. Recently, some suspects in the late Masambuka case mentioned some top government officials as masterminders behind the killings and abductions of people with albinism. Attempts to get government reaction on the APM's purported preliminary report findings proved fertile. For Rainbow News, I am Blessing Simpinganjira.
The controversial Mangochi West constituency election case has taken a new twist as the discarded winner, Geoffrey Meleka Mark Kawondo, has appealed to the Supreme Court. This follows MEC's decision to appeal on the same case as another respondent in the case. Meanwhile, Kawondo's application hearing has been set on 7th February, according to his lawyer. More in this report by Catherine Banda.
On 20th December 2019, the High Court in Blantyre discarded the results of Mangochi West constituency, demanding MEC to hold fresh elections. However, MEC's appeal on the court's judgment has now been shelved, waiting for hearing of an appeal application by the initial winner, Geoffrey Meleka Mark Kawondo.
The Supreme Court will hear an application which has been filed by the candidate who wants to declare the winner. Their lawyers, the lawyers have applied for his pay, which they would like the court to put on hold the judgment of the High Court.
This was confirmed by Kawondo's lawyer, who said the application is due on 7th February.
We have indeed appealed against the judgment of the High Court, which was made on 20th December 2019. Basically, it's because on the part of our client, he is not satisfied with the judgment that the court had delivered.
There were over 40 electoral petitions in various courts countrywide after the tripartite elections, as some were concluded already in favor of the declared winners. However, the case that has gripped the country's political atmosphere is on the presidential election, as the nation awaits constitutional court verdict within the next 2 weeks. For Rainbow News, I am Catherine Banda.
Parents and guardians who have malnourished children in Nzuzu have expressed fear that the condition of their children may worsen due to the unavailability of food supplements in public hospitals for almost 4 months. One of the parents whose child has been receiving Likuni Pala, Donalia Nyirenda, has told Rainbow that since they stopped receiving the Likuni Pala at Mapale Hospital in Nzuzu, her child's health is going down. Commenting on the matter, District Health Officer for Nzimba North and Nzuzu City, Emily Gondwe, confirmed that hospitals in the district have not been receiving the Likuni Pala for some time now. Kezbo Mvula has filed this report.
Children who have been receiving Likuni Pala flour at Mapare Health Center in Nzuzu City have gone for 4 months without the flour, a situation some parents and guardians say have affected negatively their children's health. Rainbow understands that most districts in the country have not been receiving Likuni Pala, which was being distributed by the Department of HIV and Nutrition. One of the beneficiaries from Chiwavi location in Mzuzu, Donaria Nyirenda, says she fears the development may affect her child who was making good progress.
I went to check if Likuni Pala is in, but I have been told that they don't know when Likuni Pala will be in.
Commenting on the matter, District Health Officer from Mzimba North and Mzuzu City, Emily Gondwe, confirmed that hospitals in his district have not been receiving Likuniphala for some time now and are waiting for the Department of Nutrition and HIV and AIDS, which was distributing Likuniphala, if they will continue to deliver or not.
So as of now, we are just waiting to hear from the DNHA, that's the Department of Nutrition, HIV, that means the level on the way forward, whether they will continue delivering the Likuniphala or not.
Nyirenda and other parents have urged government to intervene on the development, saying they cannot afford to buy Likuniphala in shops as it is expensive. However, Mzimba North DHO, Emily Gondwe, the rate of malnourished children has fallen down to 3% as compared to the past years. For Rainbow News in Mzuzu, this is Kesba Mvula.
You're watching Rainbow News. We'll be back with more stories after this break.
Akukupatsirani uthengawu ndi unduna wa za umoyo ndi a National AIDS Commission NAC mogwirizana ndi Manet Plus ndi thandizo la Action Aid.
Welcome back, and you're with me, Leche Mtunga. Continuing with our news, security agencies are keeping a tight lid on their preparations for the forthcoming election case verdict in the next 2 weeks. Malawi Defense Forces Major Paul Chipwanya shifted the responsibility to police as National Police spokesperson James Kadadzera refused to say a word on the matter. And last year, Malawi Defense Force Commander Vincent Nundwe said he will continue making sure of order in the country in the event that police struggle. Robert Edward reports.
As the counting down of the 45 days within which the court set for its judgment after hearing the election case, 13 days are remaining before the deadline for the verdict. Stakeholders have been urged to prepare Malawians on the outcome of the case amid fears of unrest. But security agencies are not coming out clear to ensure Malawians of security during and after the ruling. Authorities continue to shift to each other the responsibility of commenting on the matter. On Tuesday, Malawi Defense Force spokesperson Paul Chipwanya said police is in the better place to comment on the matter as they only assist in times of escalating situation. However, National Police spokesperson James Kadadzera could not comment as well, saying police will start commenting next week Monday. Minister of Homeland Security Nicholas Dausi referred us back to police for comment, saying it is an operation issue. Malawi Defense Force has been seen taking over duties during post-election protest as the police-citizen relationship gets sour by the day. For Rainbow, this is Robert Edward.
Government has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that every citizen is able to access better medical services regardless of locality through the provision of outreach mobile clinics. Spokesperson in the Ministry of Health, Joshua Malango, was reacting to one of the renowned gynecologist Frank Taulo's remarks, who cited lack of enough screening equipment and mobility challenges as some of the contributing factors fueling cases of cervical cancer, especially among women in rural areas. According to Taulo, annually the referred hospital, Queen Elizabeth Central in Blantyre, registers over 4,000 women with cervical cancer, with 2,500 deaths, which he said can be avoided. Nkhani Piri has filed this report.
Taulo told Rainbow that despite several interventions from a number of stakeholders to mitigate the effect of cervical cancer, the country continues to register an increase in cases of the condition due to lack of enough screening equipment in most public hospitals. According to Taulo, annually, the referral hospital Queen Elizabeth Central in Blantyre registers over 4,000 cases of cervical cancer with 2,500 deaths, a situation he said could be avoided. He has since called on for a concerted effort from various stakeholders to raise more awareness on the condition, which he said is claiming a lot of innocent lives.
Cervical cancer is very serious. It's the number one cancer among all cancers in Malawi. Every year we see over 4,000 cases, new cases, and we lose almost 2.5 to 3,000 women every year in Malawi. But the sad thing is, this cancer is very easy to prevent, but then it's the leading cause of death among all the cancers we have. So we say, time has come, let's go to the places where women are developing cancer so that we screen so that they should not develop cancer in the future.
Meanwhile, a grouping of well-wishers of Chatinka Maternity Care, Chamaka, has organized an event on 26th of April to raise funds for treatment of women with cervical cancer condition surrounding the catchment area of Mlanje district.
We know that the majority of our cases of cancer, they come from the rural areas. And in those places, there is no access where women can go and have cervical cancer screening. So we have taken it upon ourselves as Jamaica and our stakeholders and well-wishers to organize this event on the 26th of April.
Spokesperson in the Ministry of Health, Joshua Malango, were acknowledging the situation. He was quick to say that government is committed to ensuring that every citizen has access to proper medical care through provision of mobile clinics in rural areas. Malawi is one of the countries in Southern Africa with the highest number of deaths among women due to cervical cancer. For Ranben Blantyre, I'm Kondwan Piri.
There are so many factors that distinguish cities and rural setups. It's not just about the modern buildings and infrastructure that make life easy. It's also the landscaping that makes the environment look exquisite. But in the capital city of Malawi, moving around in many places, you cannot really tell the difference if no buildings are in the picture. Catherine Muntali took time to move around the capital city, where she hardly found well-termed land as bush covers most of it, making the city look untidy. More in this report by Catherine Muntali.
Driving around Lilongwe City, there is one common sight besides some buildings, and that is green cover. This is not the green cover that is on purpose. It's the growing bush along the roads and an idle land that expose the city's failure to do proper landscaping, as is the case in other cities. Besides the ugliness the bush imposes on the capital city, other residents are worried this is posing as a threat as it covers some people with ulterior motives.
Our lives are at stake. People with ill intentions can plot evil on us, and at the same time the beauty of the city is hidden because of this bush. We ask the city council to think of our welfare. The money they collect must be put to good use.
Lilongwe City has so many issues that include a lack of sanitation facilities, bad conditions of roads, disorderly and substandard development. With the myriad of challenges, the landscaping seems to be an overstretch, a far-fetched dream of those who may want to see that happening. If anything, this is the best way of dealing with the bush. Cities like Kigali in Rwanda are showing signs of progress. Apart from infrastructure development, they are making the best use of idle land by making them add to the beauty of the city in the vision. Some developments like these, an underground library with a car park on top where people can go and have leisure moments. Malawi's neighbors, Zambia, Mozambique, and Tanzania, have cities that have nice sceneries, public parks, and sidewalks that makes a luxury experience that may not be found in Lilongwe. Notable attempts in Blantyre make a little difference, but surely there is much Malawi needs to do. The Lilongwe City Council says it has plans to develop some of these idle lands into public parks, plans that have a rhetoric for years and decades. Hopefully, that will not turn into centuries. For Rainbow, this is Catherine Montali.
Up next, we have sport. Former Malawian national football player Clement Kafuafua returns to the team as a team manager, replacing James Sangala, who is now committed to the junior side. Sangala was appointed as FAM's youth football development officer, who has already started his new job. FAM released a press statement on Tuesday ahead of the release of the Flames' opponents in the World Cup qualifiers. Sloy Sanena reports.
In a press statement, FAM says this is part of its strategic restructuring process to develop football in the country. By commenting on Kafuafua's position, FAM's General Secretary Alfred Gunda said the idea came in order to bridge the gap in the youth football development program. He further said this will allow Sangala to concentrate on the youth development.
The Football Association of Malawi, at its meeting in Mangochi, reviewed the setup of the technical panel of the senior national team, the Flames, versus our programs of football development in the country, where we noted that we had been using Mr. James Sangala, who is a youth development officer, as a team manager for the national team, and that gave room for some of the programs in the youth development, to have some challenges when he had engagements with the national team.
Kafuafua, who was not available for his reaction, returns to his position as he once served under coach Ernest Mtawali between 2015 and 2016. For Rainbow News, I am Siloe Sanena.
Meanwhile, the Malawi national football team, the Flames, is expected to regroup next month in readiness for the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. This follows the changes that the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has made, shifting qualifiers from August to March this year. Richard Banda filed this report, read by Vincent Kwakwala.
Last week, Confederation of African Football CAF announced changes made to the 2021 African Cup of Nations games from June-July to January-February due to weather conditions in Cameroon. The changes have also affected the qualifiers, which are to start in August and have been moved to March this year. Football Association's competitions director Gomizian Zagazaga said the changes will not affect the Flames schedule because they have a plan already on the competition.
And in terms of the matches themselves, the changes does not mean a lot because the plans to play matches in those two competitions were already there. It's just that they have been swapped. The days that we are supposed to play AFCON matches, we're going to play World Cup matches. And the days that we're supposed to play World Cup matches, we're going to do AFCON qualifiers. So what has changed now is just about the logistical issues in terms of opponents. So the technical panel now has to look into, okay, they were supposed to play another opponent on such a date, but now there's a new opponent. How do they plan according to that change?
On his part, Flames mentor Mike Mwase said they will start preparing for the games early February. The Flames will start the campaign away to Burkina Faso in March and play at home the same month at Kamu Stadium.
That's all in the news at this hour, but before we wrap up, a look at the headlines once more. Rains rain havoc in Blantyre, leaving several people homeless. APAM's inquiry on albino killings exposes high-profile figures. Second appeal in the Mangochi election results dispute. In sports, Kafuafua appointed Flames manager. You were with me, Leche Mtunga. Goodbye for now.
Applications for interviews for issuance of electrical installations permits. The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA invites eligible electrical and renewable energy installers and suppliers to apply for certification interviews to be conducted by the Electrical Installations Permits Committee, IPCO. All electrical and renewable energy installers and suppliers who are not yet certified by MERA or wish to upgrade their classes of permits are encouraged to apply. Application forms can be collected from MERA offices in Development House in City Center in Lilongwe, or in Pico House, Blantyre, or Pico House in Zuzu. Soft copies can be obtained upon request. All prospective candidates will be required to possess and bring during the interviews the following: original copies of their company's registration certificates, original certificate of relevant electrical and or renewable energy academic and professional qualifications, and original certificates of past permits for those wishing to upgrade. The minimum qualifications are Grade 1 National Trade Test and 3 years of practical experience. The closing date for submission of application forms is 20th January 2020. Only shortlisted candidates shall be invited for interviews. Late submissions will not be entertained. For more information, please contact the Chief Executive Officer, Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, Private Bag B496, Lilongwe 3. Email mera@meramalawi.mw. Telephone 0999 896 310, 0998 588 091, 084 869.